It's been a while since I posted a thrift flip video and I'm really craving one. So I've gone through my basket of thrifted items that I have like ideas for, and while I was going through that pile I found 2 button-up shirts that really need some TLC. For this button-up I've had ideas of making a matching set out of it. Besides some fitting alterations, I'm not going to be changing too much of this fitted shirt, but I did find something at the thrift store that will help me take it from a single lonely button-up shirt into a matching set. I found 2 bed sheets, one in a white color and one in a very similar blue color. I was so lucky when I found this. I had the idea of turning it into a matching lounge PJ set made out of cotton bed sheets. It's gonna be so nice to wear in the summer. So I'm really excited to start on this one. And also for this video, I found this cotton eyelet shirt. I think I want to transform it into a really pretty casual top to wear for the summer. I have some ideas that I've seen on Pinterest, but I have been wanting to try out the Studio Sado Foxglove slip pattern, which has a very similar construction to the top. So I think that I'm going to try and use this pattern and transform a button-up into a really pretty top. I'm going to save this top for a second, and we're going to start on the set. So first off, I'm going to alter this button up, and I'm going to do that by trying it on myself. The other way that you can do this, if you have a shirt that you know already fits you, you can use it as a pattern and lay it on top and then trace the line of the new sleeve size or any other alterations that you want to fix. So as far as fit for this top, it is very oversized. I do think I want to shorten the sleeves and also add an elastic casing, if not just reattach the cuff, because I think I want them to be a little bit more voluminous and puffy around the hem of the sleeve. As for the fit of the main body, because of the stripes, it's going to really accentuate my shoulders going widthwise. So I'm going to take up these sleeves so that it cuts in a little bit tighter and my shoulders won't look as wide. I'm just going to take some pins and mark around where I want the shoulder to sit. So I'm going to go right right at the tip of my shoulder, making sure I don't pin myself. And then I'm going to find where the shirt is going to naturally crease for my arm to move. And that will be my next slot. Just doing that, where I'm kind of tucking in the extra fabric and seeing where the natural sleeve wants to sit, looks so much more flattering on my shoulders than this side that fully drops down and loses shape. This part can be a little bit tricky if you're just trying it on yourself, but I'm just going to try to find the back version of this pin and just feel for where I want the shoulder to sit back here. If you poke yourself, just be very gentle so that you don't draw blood and make a mess. There's going to be less room on the front than there is on the back because arm naturally wants to move forward, so you need more fabric here to compensate for that. After you have your top, your front, and your back pinned, then you are going to go and pinch underneath where you want the new underarm sleeve to start. So now I'm going to take off the shirt. I'm going to cut around all of these pins, about 1/2 inch seam allowance should do, and then I'm going to try and reattach the sleeves a little bit higher. I want to do this before I hem the sleeves because usually when you pull up the sleeve, the sleeve is going to shorten anyway. So now that everything is disassembled, I'm going to measure the curve of the new cut sleeve shape, and mine is roughly 19 inches. So 19 inches divided by 2, that will give us 9.5 inches. I'm going to do the hard work and I'm going to draft a sleeve pattern. To start out with a folded line. From the top of my sleeve pattern, I'm going to measure down 4 inches. I'm taking reference from a few tutorials, and I think I'm going to do about 4-inch height for the sleeve. So that will be here. I'm going to draw a perpendicular line. I'm going to create a triangle, and the hypotenuse is going to be the 9.5 inches that I measured. That is half of the full measurement of the sleeve arc. To the top. I'm going to take this edge line Looks like it's measuring 10 right now, so I have to take off some of this. So I'm going to cut in here. Because I'm trying to keep the wrist as wide as possible, I don't really care for how this measurement goes, so I'm just going to cap off the sleeve right there. Now I'm going to cut this out and lay it on top of the old sleeve. So now I'm going to line up the middle of the sleeve with the middle of the shirt. Good sides together. I'm going to reattach the sleeves with a straight stitch and a serger, and then we can sew up the sides with a straight stitch and a serger again. You can also use picking shears, zigzag stitch, or a French seam instead of a serger if you don't have one. A little trick for finishing off this edge, because it ends on a clean edge, I'm going to go all the way to the end, let the needle go down past it just one stitch, turn, flip it, and then go back the other way to finish off. I think I'm going to reattach the cuff, but because I don't really want to button it and unbutton it every time I take the shirt off, I'm going to find the widest part of my hand and make it fit that. So my button needs to finish here. I'm going to take off these two buttons and then shorten this cuff, probably up to here. I'm going to cut off the extra end of the cuff, leaving a 1/2 inch plus seam allowance so that I can turn it inside and finish it off nicely. So I'm going to unpick the top edge as well as unpicking the top stitching that goes along that curved edge that I have to recreate. Good sides together, I'm going to reattach the cuff, taking the time to tuck and pleat the fabric before I sew it down to the cuff. And then put this seam inside of the cuff and then top stitch it down. Hi, Editing Brooke here. Just want to let you know that I had full intentions on adding the shorts tutorial into this video, but as it's already 8 minutes in, I really feel like it needs its own video. Plus, I have some more ideas for shorts, so you're just gonna have to wait. I'm really sorry, but just be patient with me. I'm trying to make these videos as fast as I can, but stay tuned for the next shirt. I promise it turns out really cute in the end. Okay, bye. For this shirt, there's a few things that we're going to start off doing to get it prepped and ready for our new pattern, which I printed, assembled, and cut out last night in preparation for this project. This is the Foxglove slip from Studio Sado, and I'm really excited to try this out. To prep this shirt for material, I'm going to cut off the collar, take off all the seams. I'm going to leave on the buttons. I think I might use the buttons on the front part of the top. There are some darts along the back and the front, so I'm going to unpick the darts so that we have a nice flat fabric to use. So let's get to it. So now we are going to see if we can actually fit the pattern pieces, because now that I have everything cut out, I'm kind of concerned that I don't have enough fabric. So we're gonna make it work, even if I don't end up using this pattern. If you want to make a top like this, this would be the pattern that I would recommend, because the bodice pieces are a little bit bigger than I had thought. So I'm going to recommend this pattern to use if you want to make a top like this. But what I think I'm going to do, because I just have limited resources, is I'm just going to draft it onto my body form. What I'm planning on is just using this front as the lower half of the bodice. Where are my pin? So all of those darts that I had just taken out, I think I might have to re-put them back in, but that's gonna be okay. It's totally fine. I think I'm going to use the sleeves to be the gathered front piece, so I'm going to save those for after. I'm going to go back to the back piece, and I'm just going to pin them together and then try it on my body and then pin it even tighter after that. So now that I have it pinned to the front where I want it to be, I'm just going to go on the sides and pin it to fit closer onto my rib cage. So now I'm going to be creating a dart, and I'm just going to pinch. So I still have a little bit of room in here, but this is going to give me a really good idea for cutting out the pattern pieces and then fine-tuning it even more. So now this is fitting a lot better. This puckering is going to bother me. I can always add in some snaps in between to kind of create a stronger hold in between the buttons. And I added in the back darts, so now that fits a lot better. I might take it in just a little bit on the sides, but having it turned inside out like this makes it a lot easier to mark where I want it to go. Here's what we're looking at for the bodice. This will be pulled up when I add in the top straps. And then here's the back. Right away we're doing pretty good right here. This is all just trying it on, pinning it, just seeing how it works. If you have something that's very similar, you can always duplicate it by just laying it down and seeing where the seams mark. If you don't want to go through all this, you can go find another pattern like the Foxglove slip, but I think it's going pretty well so far. In order for me to fix this back part, I need to add it in the front. So I'm going to now go to the sleeves and try to pin them on to see how they want to fit. So this is the shape that I've created. I have marked out where the gathering stitches are going to be, and then I can just attach this onto the front panel. So I've decided that because I want to wear this top without a bra necessarily underneath, I want to double line this front piece. So I'm going to take another piece of this eyelet lace. I just have some scraps left over from the past project, and I'm going to layer them on top. I'm going to baste around all of the sides and then do a finishing technique with my sewing machine, which will be a new technique that I have not tried before. The way to create the scalloped edge is by turning your settings on a Singer. I have this embroidered scallop edge. It's nothing too fancy, but then I'm going to turn my length down to a buttonhole stitch and open the width to create a bigger lump. These settings now I can go forth and do it along this front edge of the bodice that will be the V-neck. I love this. This looks so good. So now I'm going to attach it to the bodice. Next thing I'm going to do is finish off the shoulders as well as curving out the new back, and then I'm going to go in with my sewing machine and add in the same scalloped edge across the back as well as around the arms. So to finish off this edge, I'm just going to fold it over and then go into my hand stitching and do that the same on the other side. So I added in some snaps in between these two buttons here, and that just kind of helps it kind of stay closed. I'm really happy with how the button-ups turned out. I really like how this striped shirt turned out. I think that it fits me really nice in the shoulders now. As for this lace shirt, I'm really surprised with how well it turned out. I really didn't know what to go in with expectations. I was really hoping to use the original pattern. I am going to use this dress pattern in the future. I printed it out early just to make this top, but I have plans to make it for the summer, so very excited to do that. But as far as this top goes, I'm really happy with how this turned out, and I think that adding in the scalloped edges really just ties it all together and makes it look like it was meant to be this top originally. I know it can be hard pinning clothes onto your body, but I think the basics are just having something to wear underneath so that you can pin into it, and also just trying it on, taking it off, pinning, doing some basting stitches, seeing how that fits. It's just a process that makes it really worth it in the end to have something that fits you really well. Obviously, we don't all have body forms that we can pin onto, but there are some other methods that you can use. This is not the only way you can do it, but it's just very easy to me to do it with the tools that I have. But that shouldn't discourage you from just trying out new ways or just trying it on yourself in the future. And now I get to make some special pieces for my summer vacation. Thank you so much for watching. If you like my videos, make sure you subscribe down below, leave a like and comment, and until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!